So today I want to talk a little bit about sleep paralysis. What in the world is sleep paralysis? Who gets that? And how do you get rid of it? Well, it's interesting because if you're in a group of people, maybe, I don't know, 12, 15, 20 people, and you mention sleep paralysis and maybe describe a little bit about what that is, what you're going to find most of the time is that several people in a group, even that small, like I said, 12, 15, 20 people, several people in the group will usually step up to the plate and say, you know what? Yeah, actually, I have experienced that before. So if you're someone who's experiencing or has experienced sleep paralysis, I want you to know that you're not alone by any stretch of the imagination. There's a lot of different thoughts out there about what sleep paralysis is. There's, like I said, there's varying perspectives, but today I want to share with you from more of a Christian perspective. Basically, I'm just going to cut to the chase and say it like it is. Sleep paralysis is nothing short of a demonic attack. Those of you who have experienced sleep paralysis, there's a lot of commonalities that maybe you have experienced. Some or all of these things. Typically, when people have an episode of sleep paralysis, they won't be able to move any part of their body. Maybe all of a sudden, they'll just instantly become paralyzed, or gradually different parts of their body will become paralyzed. Usually the only thing that you can move are your eyes. And those who experience sleep paralysis, sometimes they'll be able to discern a thickness of a presence of evil in the room. Sometimes they'll even be able to see it with their natural eyes. Sometimes they will be physically attacked. It can be a terrifying experience. You won't be able to speak typically when you're experiencing sleep paralysis. And like I said, it can be a terrifying experience. But I want to explain a little bit about how to get out of that situation. See, what will often happen is the enemy will attack us when we're most vulnerable, while we're sleeping. That's sort of a cheap attack. I mean, who attacks somebody when they're sleeping? The enemy does. So anyway, when you experience sleep paralysis, it's typically kind of easy to get out of that situation. In fact, even though you can't speak with your mouth, even if you just think the name Jesus in your thoughts, oftentimes, in fact, most of the time, that's more than enough to stop that sleep paralysis attack. I'll never forget when I was in my 20s, I was living by myself, and I wasn't born again at that time. I had strayed far, far from God, and I was in my apartment. I was by myself. I was reading a book, just kind of winding things down for the night, and all of a sudden, it was just a thick presence of evil in the room. I can't even describe it. It wasn't anything that I could see, but it was very, very tangible. And before I knew it, my whole body just went totally paralyzed for probably at least 20 minutes. And during that time, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what that was. And then all of a sudden, I heard the Holy Spirit speak into my thoughts. He said, say the 23rd Psalm. And honestly, at that time, I didn't even know the 23rd Psalm. All I knew that were just bits and pieces of it that I had memorized in vacation Bible school when I was a little kid. So in my thoughts, I began to speak out just the parts that I could remember. And slowly but surely, that presence started to lift off of me. So again, I just want to encourage you, if you happen to experience sleep paralysis, in your thoughts, say the name Jesus. There's great power in his name. So I could say a lot more about this, but I want to keep this short. So I hope that this blessed somebody.